I'm Gabby and a very warm welcome to UTV. Well, we are in celebration mode today because UTV turns 1. How exciting. And we couldn't think of anyone better to celebrate with us than One Truth 818. You've been loving this serum and in turn, well, we've loved seeing the transformations, results, and, everyone is really getting behind this brand. This is the serum that thousands of women are using to help stop the appearance of aging in its tracks. How? Well, there is an enzyme within your genes that can undo the aging process, and that all is to do with the activation. And One Truth 818 contains that activation ingredient. This serum has been created from Nobel Prize winning technology and breakthroughs, $33 million in research, right? And 11 years of investigation in the making. So prepare to be stunned as you learn about this life-changing serum and the amazing results that it can deliver. From none other than One Truth 818 founder, Rachel Dugar. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Gabby. So nice to be here.
So nice
and
to be...
happy anniversary to us.
Celebrations. Celebrations are always worthwhile. Happy birthday to us, but thank you for bringing this incredible product to our viewers. They're loving it.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And as you were saying, we love it when we hear about the results and how much people are loving it. So keep sending in those before and afters so that we can actually celebrate you as well.
Love that. And that's what it's all about. It's about seeing those subtle differences. And you often don't realise unless you take that before photo, right? Because it happens so subtly and all of a sudden you think, whoa, a few less lines around the eyes or around the mouth or that plumping of the skin or that refreshing feeling that you want. But let's run through the deal because that's what celebrations are all about. We are talking about their One Truth 818. 15% off for everyone this month only. It's One Truth 818. It's the 15% off. It's $254.15, or you're getting 4 interest-free instalments of $63.54 if you use the Afterpay or the Zip. All you need to do is get onto onetruth818.com.au, call 1-800-000-818, or grab your phone and scan that QR code. And of course, you can do the buy it now. If you download that app, pop your phone on and it'll drive you straight to that website.
Yeah, nice and easy. And we'd usually only do the 15% off for first-time people who are joining us, but this is for everyone this month.
Brilliant. Now, Rachel, we're going to go on a journey because understanding the science is crucial to understanding why this serum is a must-have for all the girls and guys out there. But let's start at the beginning. How did you come to work with a Nobel Prize winning Dr. Bill Andrews, who created the most scientific, well, one of the best breakthroughs in many, many years, but one of the most highly regarded skincare products in the world right now? You're at the forefront. How did that all come about? I know.
Lucky me. It gives me goosebumps, actually, when you ask that question, because I was just fortunate enough to be introduced to Dr. Bill Andrews by one of his investors who thought, hey, you two might like to chat. And Bill is a scientist who's trying to cure aging. He's not in the skincare game. So the fabulous thing about him is he wasn't just trying to make a quick buck or to make a cheap product. He was looking at how do I reverse aging of the cells. And we were introduced, at the time I owned my own skincare clinic and was looking at people's skins, about 50 women a week, on their journey of skincare, and was a professional skin therapist. And when I met Bill, I had a massive light bulb moment because it wasn't until that point that I actually learnt what the aging process was and thought, oh, we've actually been getting it all wrong. Why have we never asked these questions? We've just been reading magazines and saying, I'll just do what they say, and never ask the question, how do we age?
So it was his years and years and years of scientific research that he found the magic ingredient. We're going to get to that in a moment.
Yes, it'll all make sense.
He then found you and you got the magic ingredient and your knowledge and passion and created this serum.
Yeah. It really is a labour of love, like from the in vitro testing right through to, me choosing the final essential oils to make it smell how it does, so it's been an amazing journey.
Journey it has been for Dr. Bill Andrews. Let's take a little look at the genius, the man behind this discovery, and learn a little bit more about him. We'll be back in a moment.
Dr. Bill Andrews is known worldwide as not only an award winner, but one of the most esteemed doctors when it comes to discovering the secret that stops the appearance of aging in its tracks. Across the USA, Asia and Europe, Dr. Andrews is in high demand. He frequents Korea and presents at the world's biggest conferences on aging and skincare. He's always seen on TV and in the news, such as the Today Show America that ran a huge story on his discovery, and Korean TV where K-Beauty is taking the world by storm with its skincare products. Dr. Andrews spent $33 million on the discovery of the TAM-818 molecule, and this ingredient is what has made the One Truth 818 one of, if not the most potent, powerful and effective products in the world right now. Try the serum the industry leaders are talking about. Stop the appearance of aging in its tracks with One Truth 818.
Incredible. It's where science meets skincare, and that is what this brand is all about. But the results are why people are falling in love with this and turning it into their must-have cult product. Can't live without it.
Yeah.
Because results speak volumes. So let's talk about some results.
We will. And I'm going to introduce you to some new people today who are just everyday, regular folk like us who have tried One Truth 818, because I love that celebrities contact me all the time and start, using our products, but I also just love seeing what it does for a regular skin. So I'm going to introduce you to someone called Anila, and she is 44 years old. So she's at that stage in her life where her children are kind of at that age where she's not having to wake them up and bathe them and all that kind of stuff, and she's just starting to spend a little bit of time on herself again.
Good.
And thinking, what can I do to transform myself to feel a little bit younger again? So let's see what One Truth 818 did for Anila.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that by using One Truth 818, I'll be able to actually reverse time with my skin and hopefully smooth out my aging bits, and I've got a lot of blemishes that I'd also like to get rid of, so hopefully we'll see how we go.
My name is Anila and I'm 44 years old. Oh, just so simple, just literally out of the shower, couple of pumps, slap it on. It was amazing. So pretty much straight away I noticed my pores just starting to get a lot smaller and the actual texture of my skin just smoothing out, and that was within the first week actually. Just the simplicity. I just love not having a million zillion bottles and knowing that there was just one thing I needed to do morning and night, and yeah, so simple. Looking at the before and after pictures and just seeing the difference in, wrinkles, the smoothness of the skin. We're going to continue on and see how many years I can take off.
Would you make One Truth 818?
100%.
It's simple, it's easy, it's fast, and the before and afters are a must because you are going to see differences that are so subtle to begin with. But what about the radiance in that after picture with Anila? The radiance, but the radiance in her energy is what I love and I resonate with, because when you feel good about yourself, you just have a different energy, right? You just have a different, feeling. It's a lift.
And it shows.
It's a lift. And it's her, and she looks natural, but she looks radiant. Her skin looks more vibrant. I can see around the eye area in particular. Is that a significant lift? Because to me,
it's really there's quite a deep wrinkle beginning to form there. For someone in their mid-40s, that's when those crow's feet sort of start kicking in.
Yeah.
And we know from the independent tests that we'll look at later on that you can measure how much crow's feet are reduced just by applying One Truth 818.
Wow.
But this is what it does to someone. It makes them look awake.
Yeah.
When you're so busy.
Yes.
Right, but Anila looks alive and awake, and the clarity of her skin, and that's what she talks about. She says, even the pores on her skin, the texture is smoother. It's those subtle changes which, lead to, as you say, and she popped on and you said, oh, she's so radiant,
She is so radiant, and what resonated with me when I started using this product was, One Truth 818 is one product. It is the everything serum. It's the eye cream, it's the neck cream, it's the face cream, it's the all-over cream. It's fast, it's effective, and it delivers results. Its Nobel Prize-winning major ingredient that's in here is incredibly expensive. We're going to get into that in a moment and really learn a little bit more about this incredible brand. It's the 1-year anniversary here on UTV, and we're giving you 15% off. It's $254.15, or you can use the 4 interest-free payments with the Afterpay or Zip of only $63.54, and of course it's getting delivered for free. Get onto onetruth818.com.au, call 1-800-000-818, or get your phone and hit that QR code. If you've got the Buy It Now app, it'll flash up, and get this product in your basket, because 15% off is normally for first-time users. You may have been using this product and you need some more stock. It's time to get that value offer, 15% off. But what about what it's taking off?
Yes,
It's
that's
taking
a good way to say
away
it.
all the different creams, which could cost upwards of $500 if you've got an eye
Yeah.
cream and a neck cream,
It
and
really
a day cream, and a
adds
night
up.
cream, and a
Yeah,
serum. and a...
I did a survey on people who use One Truth 818, and over 60% of them said they save money.
Yes.
Because, you know, an eye cream alone is over $100.
Yep.
You know, and then if somebody says to you, you need to lift your skin and you've got some pigmentation and you need hydration, that's 3 separate serums. You know, and are they actually working? That's a whole nother question. But just those serums are going to cost you $400.
Okay, so let's talk about the science. What are telomeres?
Yes. We've raced ahead with what it's going to do.
Because it's going to do it all, but we
Let's
need
go back.
to get your head around how this works.
Yeah, and so this was my light bulb moment, which was understanding what the aging process is, right? So let me tell you how cells age. Every time a cell divides, you've got telomeres, which are like long tails on the end of your DNA, and they shorten. Telomere shortening is the aging process.
Gotcha.
So the cell divides and the telomere shortens. And you can only have about 50 cell divisions and 50 drop-offs of that telomere
Right.
before the telomere is so short that the cell can't divide anymore and it dies. Like literally scientists and doctors call telomeres your clock of aging.
Right.
And that is right from the very beginning of this show, your new mantra is cell division equals aging.
Gotcha.
And it was actually awarded a Nobel Prize when it was discovered how telomeres are protecting our DNA. Because if a cell divided and you lost a bit of your DNA, we wouldn't be here anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's why they're so important. However, there's a limitation on them.
Okay.
So you want to preserve those cell divisions.
Okay, so what is it that's preserving that cell division? What is it that's preserving the shortening?
Yeah, so you can speed it up. Let's say you want to look older. You need to
know.
put your hand
I
up. No. So you're going to inflame your skin.
Right.
You are going to scrape it off, you're going to melt it off, you're going to damage it. Because when your skin repairs, it does that through cell division. Now, hang on. I know some of you are sitting there alarmed going, but Rachel, I've been told that if I blast my face off with laser, if I pin it with needles, if I melt it off, that it's making my skin younger. And I'm telling you, remember I said this is Nobel Prize winning science, so you cannot go against this, although the entire skincare industry is trying to. When you destroy and have any kind of violence whatsoever on your skin, it needs to repair. And when it repairs, the skin you've now got is older than the skin you had before. So it's a really false economy.
Wow. I mean, for all those years, all the things I've done to my face to try and preserve it, I've actually been damaging it, speeding up the aging process, which is why I'm in love with this product. But let's take a listen to the expert, the doctor, the scientist that discovered, the telomere, what it is, and learn a little bit more about the science behind this product. We'll be back in a moment.
Telomeres are the very tips of your chromosomes. Your chromosomes are where your genes are. They're encoded on a molecule called DNA. Well, DNA is like a long string of beads. And think of these long string of beads as a shoelace. The beads are called bases, and a typical chromosome is about, or a typical DNA molecule inside a chromosome is about 100 million bases in length. Well, think of that as a shoelace, as I said. The caps on your shoelaces are the same as the telomeres on your chromosomes. So on this long string of beads, the very tips of these things are called telomeres. And they protect your chromosomes the same way that the caps on your shoelaces protect your shoelaces.
Rachel, it's really exciting to think that, people in their 30s and 40s and 50s, 60s, even in their 70s are really seeing differences in their skin and how it's aging by using this product. I mean, it must be really exciting and rewarding for you.
It really is, and I always get the emails from these beautiful women saying, Rachel, is it too late? And, I can tell you hand on heart, it's never too late to start feeling better about how you look, because we know that translates into how you can feel about yourself.
Yes, indeed.
But the science also tells us that those short telomeres can be corrected. And actually, let's think about this. If you're older than me, you've got more short telomeres than me. And so we can correct them even faster. I'm going to tell you how in a moment.
Wow.
So please don't feel like I'm older than you, so will it work for me? And maybe we could show you someone who is a little bit older than us.
Let's take a look, because I love the before and afters. Who are we going to meet?
So we're going to meet Gwen, who's in her 60s.
Okay.
And she was sort of like going, I don't think it's going to do much. It's just a cream. Fair enough. We've all been duped before.
Yes.
So let's see what actually happened when Gwen tried One Truth for 8 weeks.
My name's Gwen and I'm 62 this year, and my main concern is that the pores on my nose are quite large, and I've always had a great deal of problem with that. As I've got older, they seem to have got bigger. My skin's dropped and I feel my skin colouring is very slow. It's just not got the elasticity, it's just dropped with age. That's really all. It's all I'm really concerned about. Be nice to look young again, or just a few years younger. The first week when I was trying it, it was really, really lovely. It was really nice and soft. My whole skin felt really soft, and I wasn't quite sure, because I don't use a lot of product anyway. I just mainly used to wash my face, perhaps with soap, but I won't tell you the name. And I didn't use toner or anything, but I did find with this, it was just lovely. I felt really lovely soft. And then after about a month, I found that just my skin firmed up a little bit, because I felt that it was quite sallow, it was sagging a bit. And the colour of my skin, it wasn't used to be so grey, it just sort of livened up a lot more. And I found the great part about the product is that when you go to put other products on your face, you never know how much, right? So you put so much on and you're just covered, your whole hand is just full of product because you've put too much on, and your whole face is just awash with moisturizer. But I found with this product, I love the container, because it gave you a certain amount when you pumped it, and so it just gave you that amount to put on your face, and it was just enough for me, and I found that really good. I'm really happy, really surprised. I also found that even though as I am older, I still get the odd, as women will do, as they've gone through menopause, and they get the odd 1 or 2 hard, bristly hairs on their chin. I found that they softened, and I still had them, but they were soft. And so that I was really, really pleased with that, because I just did not like the prickly stubble that you sometimes get, just 1 or 2 bits of hair now, here and there. Cool. So, and then it stayed away, I still haven't got it.
Rachel, incredible results, so exciting, and the changes that people feel in themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just invaluable to put, how do you put a price on feeling great about yourself? But for me, it's sort of like I want to feel like I've had a facial, a really good night's sleep, and been on a holiday. When people go, gee, you look well, what have you done?
Yes. What have you been doing?
And I think that's how Gwen felt about herself.
I think in her own words, right? You know, she noticed so many. What I loved is, you know, when Gwen was talking about what she wanted to change, she wasn't saying, I want to look like a 20-year-old Hollywood star. You know, she was just saying, I just want to have skin that's a bit more alive and a bit more lifted, and, you know, and it ticked every single box for her.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like she looked like a different person.
She did. Her
which
energy was
fabulous.
different.
Yeah. And so we've just seen what happened with Gwen, how she felt, and what happened on the outside. But I've actually got those before and afters that we
Good.
just glanced at,
Good.
which is actually showing you what's happening underneath the skin.
The real results.
Yeah, because we're talking about changes in your epigenetics. So this photo here is showing you, just below the surface of the skin, the pigmentation that's there, right?
Gotcha.
Which is more than likely about to come out on the surface of your face.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
the process. It's
these
developing.
are your future age spots.
Gotcha.
You think of it that way. And so you can see how they have completely diminished.
They're reduced
So, yeah, so the larger
significantly.
ones have shrunk and they have decreased in intensity, and so much of those light ones have gone. So those age spots that were going to be coming out on Gwen's face more than likely are now not existent.
So
or
would that
diminished.
would that transform to more even pigment?
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
That tone. Now this is, if you want to look at this is the redness, but you can basically see the capillaries. So, you know, if you've got that kind of ruddy look happening,
Yeah.
see how strengthened the capillaries are?
I am impressed.
Yeah, and so this is, I really want to say, because, you know, what we're doing is not just surface work.
Got you.
So this is really strengthening the structure of your skin.
So this is like science stopping aging in
Yeah.
its tracks.
Yeah, yeah. Not just like nothing wrong with a bit of a primp and a gloss, but why not fix the root cause?
Love that.
Yeah, so that's why Gwen's skin looked so much more even.
It is incredible to think that, you know, even from an irritation perspective, to have calmer skin.
Yeah.
To me, the word I'd describe, I'm certainly not expert, I'd say, look how calm the skin looks after, you know, 8 weeks of using this product. Look how calm. But I can also see those, you've pointed them out, the capillaries.
Yes.
Now, not having those capillaries obviously is going to make your skin look better.
Yeah, and less irritated as well. So let's say if you were a sensitive person, it's because those capillaries are really close to the surface and they're picking up and getting irritated by things. And so there's a couple of things happening when your skin is strengthened. The capillaries become stronger, but the network around them becomes stronger as well too. So we can see that by using One Truth 818, it actually promotes you to make your own collagen. So that mattress around the capillaries is thicker again, which is why they're kind of receding. So it's a pretty incredible thing to be able to strengthen your skin rather than just hiding the aging process. Now, what Gwen did is as easy as what Gabby's doing on her hand here. So we say 2 pumps twice a day. That's what all of our volunteers do. They do use it twice a day. And 2 pumps can do your entire face.
A little bit goes a long way.
A little bit goes a long way. I'm like, you need to undo your sleeves to wrap that up your sleeves. But you do go over your eye area as well, including the eyelids. So our volunteers don't use a different eye cream or a different neck cream. It is just this one product. And I'm so simple now. I'm like squirt, squirt, smooshy, smooshy, over the face, the eyes, the lids, the neck.
All
That quick.
in one go. It is the one product. It is producing incredible results. You saw the before and afters of Gwen. You saw the way she felt about herself. This is once a day that you are using the one product.
Twice.
It is simple.
Gotta
Twice
correct
a
you.
day. Thank you.
Just in case. Sorry, twice.
Twice a day. I must admit, I generally have been just using it that once a day. I'm going to start
Yeah,
using it
yeah.
twice a day. And I'm going to see even better results. This is the 1-year anniversary offer. It's 15% off to all users. So if you have purchased previously, you are able to get the birthday celebration discount down to $254.15. You're getting free delivery. If you want to use the interest-free payments, 4 interest-free payments of $63.54. Get it home, give it a try. Go to onetruth818.com.au, call 1-800 000 818, hit that QR code, but get it home. Start using it. Take a before. Who knows? You might be shown on this program
be one of our
with the
stories
after.
next
We want to
time.
hear about your journey. Now, for me, now in my 50s, well and truly, I've noticed personally my skin from about the age of mid-40s.
Yeah.
It did start to feel like it was getting very dull. I started getting a lot of age spots. I started doing treatment on those age spots, different things like ice, which was meant to have burnt the skin. All the things down to last year, I went and got my face lasered, which before I knew about this product.
Yes.
And my face blew up like a pumpkin, and I didn't realise that I was actually aging it even worse.
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
what...
It was actually really bad timing. So a year ago now, because it's our 1 year anniversary, and I'd arrived for the first show, and Gabby walked into the studio, and your face was swollen, wasn't it?
It was
and just really
terrible.
sore looking. And Kate had just seen one of my first shows and had learnt what the process of ageing was. She literally looked at me and said, "Oh, Rachel, when do we tell her?"
Like, why didn't I know about this? I've been using it for a year. I've been using it only once a day. I now know I should have been using it twice a day. I've gotten rid of everything else that I used to use because this is the One Truth. It is, in my opinion, a wonder product. It's a must-have for the ladies, for the gents, regardless of your age. And regardless, Rachel, correct me if I'm wrong, if you've had a little bit of work, if you've had a little bit of Botox or a little bit of something in the face, you can still go ahead and use it.
You absolutely can. And a lot of people say that it makes their injectables last longer. But also, I've got to say to you, do whatever you do that makes you feel beautiful, go for it. But I just need to mention that having your Botox and your fillers isn't looking after the quality of your skin. And so, you know, they're getting rid of the wrinkles, but you still need to look after the quality of your skin so that in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, you're not looking like an old-skinned person who's frozen.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So it's all about getting it right, regardless of your age. It's starting now, and it's starting, you know, at the root cause. But let's take a listen to Dr. Bill Andrews, the expert, and find out a little bit more about the science that's in this product. We'll be back in a moment.
We started off with discovering that, as I mentioned, every time our cells divide, our telomeres get shorter, but that's not true in our reproductive cells. Our reproductive cells, the cell divides, the telomeres don't get shorter. And we discovered this enzyme called telomerase. Telomerase is produced in our reproductive cells, and what happens every time the cell divides, telomeres do get a little bit shorter, but then telomerase re-lengthens it back to the original length. Long story short, we have found that if we overproduce telomerase in cells, we find that the telomeres actually start getting longer, which was the first hint that we actually had discovered a way to possibly reverse human aging and declining health. So we took this enzyme and we put it into normal skin cells. Remember, it's only produced in reproductive cells, but when we put it in normal skin cells, we found that these cells stopped aging and actually became younger by every method of measurement you can imagine.
We're talking about Nobel Prize winning technology, but ingredients that are put together with skincare. So the magic ingredient, Rachel.
Yes.
The magic.
So we just heard Dr. Bill Andrews talking about telomerase, and that is the solution to the problem that we have been focusing on today, which is ageing. So I explained that ageing is to do with telomere shortening. That is the root cause of ageing. And what Bill was just saying there is that he discovered a gene called telomerase. Now, what is so magical, as you say, like about telomerase, is that is the only way to re-lengthen telomeres.
Wow.
And the only way to have a younger cell, younger skin, is by lengthening those telomeres.
Love that.
So the problem with the telomerase gene, which Bill discovered, is that it's got a block on it. So it's sitting there just waiting, but it's not running. So if you can remove that block, the enzyme runs back down to the end of the telomere and re-lengthens it again.
Got you.
So it literally is undoing the biological aging process.
Okay, so that
pretty stunning.
magic ingredient came together with this beautiful skincare.
Yeah.
So that's how we are getting, or you are getting, the results that we've seen.
So Bill worked out how to move that block off. And he tested almost 400,000 molecules. And the 314,818th was TAM818 is what we've called it. And that removes that block.
Wow.
So cells divide, telomeres shorten. That's the aging process. That block is shifted just by popping this on your skin. The enzyme telomerase runs down and re-lengthens the telomere. Actually makes your cell younger.
Wow, that is incredible. Science meets skincare, and it is that TAM818 ingredient. Now, we're going to take a listen to Dr. Bill explain that in a little bit more depth, just so it can really sink in, because this really, I refer to it as my little bottle of magic. Yeah. Because for me, I've seen the results, I've seen the difference. It's so simple, it's so easy. And the lightest, most natural fragrance I love, but it's not perfumed, right?
It's not perfumed. No, there's no artificial colours, no artificial fragrance or anything like that. So it just has a couple of light citrus oils, like, you know, 0.001%. But also it's really unisex as well. Would you say? Yeah, we did that on purpose because men also love using this. Just one product and they're done.
Wonderful. So let's take a listen to Dr. Bill and we'll be back in a moment.
Well, we've been working now since 1999. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to look for chemicals and natural products and practically anything that will get inside of human cells in a petri dish and turn on the gene for telomerase. We have tested, well, we first developed a very high throughput screening assay that we could test cells with, so we can test like 4,000 different chemicals a day, looking for something that would, when added to human cells in a petri dish, and then let the cells incubate for 24 hours, then the next day break open the cells and ask did those cells produce telomerase. We have an assay that allows us to do this 4,000 times a day, all robotic and stuff. And so we started testing all kinds of chemicals at random. We tested over 300,000 different chemicals, actually found 900 of them would actually induce the production of telomerase at low levels. And we were able to then look at the structures of all these chemicals, or at least our medicinal chemists looked at the structures of all these chemicals. In a very short period of time, we ended up finding stuff that, at least one chemical that was 16%. We found a lot that were like 10%, 12%, well, one was 16% of what we need, and we called that TAM-818, telomerase activating molecule 818. And that's our strongest, in fact, it's the strongest chemical on the planet right now for inducing telomerase.
You can replace your day creams, your night creams, your neck creams, your serums, all of your different products that you're using with this one simple serum. It's 2 pumps twice a day. It takes seconds. A little bit goes a long way, but it is that scientific discovery. It is that science meets skincare, and it's your chance to give this a go. Remember, do a before shot because the results happen so fast. They're so subtle. You will be surprised when you look back at what's happened in 4 weeks. Well, for $254.15, you are getting the 15% off and you are getting free delivery. You're going to have to get onto that website, onetruth818.com.au. Go to 1-800-000-818, click the QR code and don't miss out. This is the birthday celebration and this is the brand that people are falling in love with. It's becoming a cult product. It's becoming, that product that is a must-have for the guys and for the girls. But if you've just joined us, we are discussing the very unique One Truth 818. This serum can stop the appearance of aging in its tracks. Yes, it doesn't matter how old you are or what type of skin you've got, One Truth 818 can deliver life-changing results. We are chatting about the Nobel Prize-winning technology that led molecular biologist Dr. Bill Andrews to discover the telomere gene. Telomerase.
There's so many mouthfuls of words around here today.
Thank you. I need the expert. Now, it's all about that enzyme being switched on. And it's the ingredient called TAM-818. I got that right, which is this serum. Now, this month, we are giving that 15% discount. It is incredible chance to try it out, but it really is about the results. Now, for $254.15, I've got to say that's value for money. When you look at some of the big brands out there that are just concentrating on maybe making your skin feel hydrated, right? Yeah. Not from working from those deep layers, and you're seeing the results because TAM-818, it's patented. Now, it's exclusive to this serum. Rachel, there's a lot to take in. I couldn't even get the word right. I muddled it up because it's a whole lot of science, right?
It's a whole lot of science, but I'll nutshell it for you. And just because you really just need to understand the nutshell. But skin ages every time a cell divides, and that telomere, the long tail on the end of your DNA, shortens. Mm-hmm. Now, TAM-818, which is, as you say, exclusive to One Truth 818, is a telomerase activating molecule. So it activates the telomerase gene, which has got a block on it. It gets activated with this to open up and express the enzyme telomerase to re-lengthen the telomere. So telomere shortening is aging, telomere lengthening undoes the biological aging process. And I've got to tell you, if you want a younger cell or younger skin or younger anything, the only way to make something younger is by re-lengthening that telomere. And the only way to do that is by using telomerase, which is inside your gene. So yeah, there is a whole lot of science in here, but it explains everything you just said, why it doesn't matter what skin type you've got, it doesn't matter what gender you are, it doesn't matter anything. We go to the root cause of aging so that your cells behave like a younger cell again. And I can't reiterate how important that is because, you know, look at your 20-year-old daughter compared to your 70, 80-year-old, you know, mother. So young cells produce collagen. They produce elastin.
Yes.
Hello. And they give you an even pigmentation as well.
Right.
So do you want younger skin cells? 100% you want younger skin
Please.
cells. So instead of mopping up the mess with things that might actually be aging you faster, or at best, as you say, adding a bit of hydration, you go to the root cause and make your cells younger so they actually act like a younger cell again.
Feel better about your skin, have your skin look better. But why don't we have a look at some results? Another client of yours, Juliet,
Yes.
had incredible results. Tell me about Juliet.
So we've looked at someone in their 40s and
Yes.
someone in their 60s. We're back to someone in her 40s, but she's quite different to Anila, who's just starting to look after herself. Juliet really enjoys injectables and doing fillers and that sort of thing. So that is the route that she's chosen to try to look younger. And she was spending a lot of money. I actually had to beep it out when she said what eye cream she was using, you know, but I tell you, it was a top-end, high-shelf one, and she preferred just using this one thing all over her entire face. But I'll let Juliet tell you about that.
To see a bit more hydration and be using a lot less money on cosmetic injectables.
Hi, I'm Juliet. I'm 48 years old and live at Red Beach. You know, normally a skincare routine is you exfoliate, you cleanse, you tone, etc. You put your serum on, whereas this was just a one-stop shop. So I found it really easy. Totally dropped all of my products, listened to the brief and used only One True. I found it much easier to use One True serum as a one-stop shop, basically, morning and night. I felt more plumpish in my skin, a lot more hydrated, and I noticed that within a week of using it. It's a goodie, isn't it? It's a goodie. I love it. There you go. That's why everyone should be using it, right? On the eyes. I found it really useful around the eyes. I didn't have to use eye cream. It's great.
Ditch the eye cream.
Ditch the eye cream.
How much do you usually spend on an eye cream?
108. I was happy, which is what matters. Totally. I would definitely recommend 818 to my friends.
Endorsements from users who are saying, give it a go. Now, Juliet is a lady who really, you can see she likes to take good care of herself. And I reckon that Juliet knows her way around the cosmetics counter. I reckon she's tried a lot of different things in her search.
She actually used to rep for a big cosmetics company.
There you go.
And so I think sometimes those are the people that fall into the trap more of doing too much to this, because and you know too, because you were told this, weren't you? You were told, Gabby, if you really want good skin, and we're almost given guilt trips, aren't we? Like you should look after yourself, invest in your skin, spend $800 on laser, you know. And so she's one of these people who's been told, oh, the only way to undo that wrinkle is by filling it. It'll cost you thousands, you know. And the eye cream she was using was 15 mils, costing over $100.
Wow.
You know, and so this 50 ml bottle, something I've forgotten to tell you, which is actually fabulous to know, this lasts 8 to 10 weeks.
That's incredible
so these
value
women
for
have
money.
used one bottle.
Incredible value for money. Value for money, but results that we're getting. I reckon the people who are getting the results would be happy to even pay a little bit more, I've got to say. We won't be you know, discounting. We've got that 15% off, which is brilliant.
Yes,
it's an opportunity.
to us.
But have a look at the eye area. Now, $254.15 for your whole face, for your neck area, for your eye area. Look at the difference.
Yeah. So the puffiness is gone as well too. And sometimes people go, but that's not a wrinkle, or it's not, you know, you have to understand that every visible sign of aging on your skin is caused by short telomeres.
Wow.
So that includes the puffiness.
Really?
It includes the dark circles. Yeah, because younger skin cells just function better.
Yes.
So they clear away the detox, they clear away the debris. And the elastin, it literally, like, imagine a snatch back on your face.
Oh.
That's what elastin does.
Oh.
So that's why that puffiness is gone. But there's some wrinkles that were really settling in there, even with her $108 eye cream, that have just completely diminished and smoothed out.
She looks refreshed.
Yeah.
She looks, you know, and for me, I feel like my skin looks 5 years younger. And that's what I'm loving. But I'm going to be using it twice a day from now, and I've got to say, and I'll probably...
I know, I can't believe we just made that discovery on air. I'm glad I told you.
You know what? I think it's because that's when I clean my face. Of an evening, when I get home from work, that's when I do my normal regime. Of a morning, I tend to be in a bit of a rush and I just sort of take off. That's probably because that's my routine.
Yeah,
now,
but you've seen results only
I've seen results with only once a day. Now, we're saying 8 to 10 weeks use with this one product. So value for money is something that I've seen. I think it's an incredible value for money proposition. And for only $254.15, you are getting 15% off here for the anniversary special. You're getting free delivery. You can use the 4 easy payments, interest-free, I've got to say. And all you've got to do is get onto onetruth818.com.au or call 1800 000 818. We are going to show you a little bit more about this product and how it all came about. We'll be back in a moment.
Cell division equals aging. Yet many products damage your skin by increasing cell turnover in order to bring younger and fresher cells to the surface faster. Without knowing it, you could be accidentally aging your skin faster. One Truth 818 goes to the root cause of aging, supporting telomere health and cell lifespan with the power of TAM 818. Clinically and dermatologically proven. Real results, real people. When it comes to anti-aging, there is only one truth. One Truth 818.
Rachel, it's all about results, and you made sure that the testing was done, not the normal parameters. You went overboard with the testing.
100% overboard, because I know I'm standing here telling you things you've never heard. So we needed to back that up too. So I went to Abbott Laboratories in Italy and I asked for 100 volunteers over a 30-day time frame.
Wow.
So typically someone will get, say, 20 people over 2 weeks.
There you go.
Yeah, I said, no, if we're doing this, we are doing it. And the pictures and results that came back were absolutely phenomenal. So they were able to measure skin smoothness improving by almost 10% in the eye area.
Beautiful.
Forehead wrinkles decreasing by over 14%, and crow's feet, they decreased by over 11%. Please remember, these people were still moving their faces.
I love that.
But they managed to get rid of so many of their wrinkles, and skin firmness improved by 20.33%. Now, this product is dermatologically tested. It's non-toxic, non-sensitizing, non-irritating, non-mutagenic. So when I say go over your eyes, I mean on and over and all around your eyes. That's how I formulated it.
Wow.
So that you could do it that way. Now, these are some pictures that the doctors at Abbott Laboratory took. This is 30 days.
Love that.
So the results that I've been showing you are over 2 months, because that's how long a bottle lasts.
Yes.
But this is 30 days.
Incredible. It's visibly there. You can see that person looks refreshed. They look lifted. Their skin looks plumped. It actually looks hydrated. You can see that it looks hydrated.
The luminosity is there.
It is.
And those
definitely
crow's feet. Like, this woman had way more than a 14% improvement. And that's the thing, I'm only talking averages.
Averages.
This was like, you might have an even better result.
Okay, have a
so
look
this
at
shows
this.
you the 2-week result. And that's not uncommon for people to say, my skin feels different after a couple of weeks.
Wow,
So it was
looks
interesting
different.
to kind of, get that into the case study. That, yeah, it does. It looks different. And after 30 days, the redness is decreased, the wrinkles are gone, the eyelid is lifted, and these are not uncommon results. This is really normal for people to have this with
really
One
normal
Truth.
results. They're wow results. And it's the feeling good, it's the looking good. For some people, we want to feel good. I think you start feeling so good about yourself when you start looking better or feeling better about yourself. 90% notice an improvement in the skin. That is huge. It's the roughness and the wrinkle depth. Within 2 weeks, 92% notice an improvement in hydration. Within 2 weeks, 100% had no adverse reactions. Now, that's incredible. So does that mean that there's no nasties in there? It's 100% natural.
No nasties, no nasties. It's over 95% natural ingredients, and it's really well tolerated. Like, it's hardly ever that somebody reacts to our serum.
Well, in those that were tested 100%,
Yeah,
no adverse reactions.
Yeah, and because it was such a big scale, when we say 100%, we mean 100 people. You know, there's another one here from day 1 to day 30, and you can see. So honestly, they're going right over their eye area. So please, please don't be afraid to use it on your eye area. Even if you have sensitive skin, it's more than likely going to be okay, because it is for most people.
Great. Okay, so normal cleansing, normal eye makeup remover, and then away we go. Day 1 to day 30, I can see it. Look back under the eye there on that high cheekbone. It is definitely plumped. It is lifted. The crease isn't as deep on the upper eyelid.
Yeah.
These results, honestly, they're mind-blowing. Let's hear about Amelia's story. What happened there?
Oh, so Pernilla.
Pernilla, sorry.
Yeah, an interesting name. She's Swedish, and so has that typical very fair skin with, you know, we were talking about sort of capillary breakage and real sensitivity across here. And Pernilla is in her 50s. So we're covering the whole spectrum today. So let's see if One Truth 818 managed to strengthen Pernilla's skin.
Well, I would like to reduce my fine wrinkles, and I would love to even out my skin tone. Yes, get a little bit more even.
My name is Pernilla. I'm 55 years old. Oh, it's very easy to apply. It just goes on really nicely and smoothly. During this trial, I've been using it every day, morning and night, and I have actually noticed a difference in doing so. I felt like it improved my texture and felt maybe a little bit plumper. But also, the good thing about it was that it sort of made my skincare routine a bit easier. Instead of contemplating what to put on, and it made it easier just to have one product. Initially, I used my moisturizer on top, but then I felt like I didn't even need that. So I just only used the serum. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I felt like my skin was a little bit more balanced. Like I'm usually quite oily, and I didn't feel like that oiliness was happening very frequently. So I would definitely recommend Truth 818 to my friends. Did you get that?
I noticed a visible difference in that capillary that you were talking about. The age spots, which is what I'm referring to them to, looked lightened. Her skin looked plump around the eye area, in particular on the inside there. It was plumped up. Now, is that erasing? Is it plumping? Is it all of the above?
It's all of the above. So what's happened, and you can see on Pernilla's skin on the left-hand side, the before shot, right? So that is an aged skin, you know, mid-50s. So that's depleted of collagen, depleted of elastin. It's starting to get really sensitive. It's really red across the nose and the cheek area. So it's a very kind of weakened, compromised skin. And it's like a cross-hatching wrinkle underneath her eye area, which is glycation.
Yes.
Now, when you look on the right-hand side, you can see her skin has started to produce collagen again because it's plumped and pushed out from the inside out, right? And the elastin has kicked in because it started to lift the eyelids back. And you can see, like you were talking about that middle bit, it has lifted. You know, so when you just tackle the root cause of aging and the cells behave like a younger skin, it takes care of all of the visible signs of aging. We've been indoctrinated to think they're all separate because someone wanted to sell us loads of products.
Loads of products at loads of cost and loads of time and loads of confusion. This is the product that is delivering results. It is award-winning technology. It is the TAM 818, and it's One Truth, and it's your opportunity to get that 15% off. I mean, think about, what do you want from your skincare? You want all of the things that we've shown you in the before and afters. You want that technology, and you want it in one simple, easy-to-use product at $254.15. Get on to onetruth818.com.au, go to 1-800-000-818, and I've got to say thank you so much, Rachel, for bringing this and for being part of the celebrations. Get this home, share it with your loved ones, take a before and after. We want to see the results. Bye now. Bye-bye.